A CNN poll found that a majority of Americans disapprove of the felon's handling of the economy. Let's look at that. Is this the beginning of the end for the felon? And let's relook at the Florida special elections, the Wisconsin Supreme Court elections. And some people have asked, is this the end of American democracy? I don't think so, but let's take a look. Welcome to Scrying Out Loud. My name is Trevor. First of all, thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who watches, likes, and comments on the video or supports the channel in any way. If you've given money through the super thanks, buy me a coffee, or Venmo, a huge, huge thank you. I've ordered another new tarot deck that was recommended by somebody who watches the videos, the Voyager Tarot. I'd never heard of it. It looks really cool. So I'm looking forward to that. So thank you for recommending that deck. Huge, huge shout out to you. And let's get started. So a CNN poll found that a majority of Americans disapprove of the felon's handling of the economy. This is exactly as I have predicted things would go. So um, a lot of that has to do with um, rising prices. And I've talked about my anecdotal experiences in grocery stores and in gas stations. I had to drive for some of the house cleansing stuff. Oh, that reminds me, I have started the second channel. I put a community post there. I will link the video that I have posted in the second channel uh, uh, in this video when it comes out. Uh, the first video on the second channel is just a 6 month kind of astrological spiritual view of what's going to happen during the eclipse season in that conjunction between Neptune and Saturn. The second channel will be less political, if not apolitical, and more spiritual. That is the plan for it. This channel, however, will be political because let's talk about how awful the felon is. We need that outlet. Okay, so with that being said, uh, the felon's disapproval on the economy, I think, may have changed things in these Florida special elections, but I want to double check. And I want to look at the Wisconsin Supreme Court special election. So let's start there. Then we'll get into whether this is the beginning of the downfall of uh, the reputation of the felon, in particular about his business acumens. And then let's look at American democracy. Are there still going to be elections? Is this the end? Again, spoiler alert, I really don't think so, but let's actually look at it in a more in-depth manner. Okay, so let's start with the special election in Florida's first congressional district. This is between the Republican Jimmy Patrones and the Democrat Gay Valmont. I've always felt like this goes to the Republicans, but I've been wrong before. And when I read on it the last time, the felon still had a reasonably decent approval rating. Now, I don't believe the CNN poll completely. I bet you his approval rating on the economy is actually worse than that poll suggests, but that's what I have seen. But let's look at it. What can you show us about the special election on April 1st in Florida's first congressional district between Jimmy Patrone's the Republican and the Democrat Gay Valmont? Oh, I'm seeing a lot of chatter amongst neighbors. It's the image I'm getting. I did see a post on Blue Sky where David Hogg, the he's now got a position in the Democratic Party, but he was one of the Parkland uh, not victims, but he was at the Parkland school when that shooting happened. There's the sun card, by the way. That's a good sign. He was campaigning with Gay Valmont. So the Democrats are making an effort. Just about. Will Gay, we have to ask the question a little bit more specific. Will Gay Valmont win? I think it's going to be close, like closer than expected. I seen an image of the Five of Cups, which would suggest, excuse my stutter, would suggest that she doesn't win. Cards just don't quite go right. Gay Valmont win the special election in Florida's first congressional district. It's going to be closer than anybody anticipated. I think so. This is Matt Gates's congressional district. I think he was winning usually by 30, almost 40 points. There are things we can't see behind the surface, things unknown to us. This might actually be the money that's being spent in favor of the Democrat, I feel. If you're in the first congressional district or in the TV market around there, let me know if you've seen any Gay Valmont ads. The concern is stability. People are worried about the economy. That's the challenge is that, yeah, with the Five of Pentacles, poverty, being concerned about money, being left out in the cold. Maybe the Democrats aren't spending money on this. In the past, we have illusion and delusion, a break from reality, but it's in the past. Maybe people are starting to see things the way they really are. We get the world card, an end of a big cycle. The Republicans have won the first congressional district in Florida for a long time. That's the panhandle of Florida, Pensacola in particular. I think maybe it contains most of Tallahassee, but Tallahassee is very liberal, but well, they vote for the Democrats anyhow. I don't know if they're super liberal, but I don't know if there's like the district is big enough that I don't know that that can sway off the Republicans. We get the emperor in the near future. That's interesting. So abuse of power could be the presidency, could refer to the way things are going in Washington as well. People don't like these tariffs. It's a turning point. People realize that this election's important. Okay, I just very clearly I heard the right people know how important this election is. It, I'm not giving advice to the Democratic Party, but it almost might be better if this election is under the radar. Like, I don't know. I'm not in Florida, so I don't know how much attention it's actually getting, but I think it's possible she could win if the right people vote. And by that, I mean the people that are very interested. And I think those are the Democrats. And the other people don't. We get ill health. We get concerns about the health of the country, the health of the economy. We get concerns. This card isn't about the felon's health. This card is about the health of the country. People are concerned about it. They're concerned about the way things are going, the chaos, and they're not getting a lot of chatter in my head. People are not impressed with Mike Johnson. They're not impressed with the way Republicans are doing things. The hopes and fears we get death and rebirth. It's a hope. It's a hope that people really see what's going on and how bad the Republicans are being. It's also a fear that people won't wake up in time. We get the Nine of Wands, the need for guardrails. And Gay Valmont would be a guardrail. We get the Three of Pentacles, circles of support around money. I'm curious what her fundraising is like. And we get the Eight of Wands, things happening quickly. The election's very fast. I mean, it's in April 1st. It's not very long away. Underneath, we get moderation, temperance, things coming to the surface, things unknown. And here's the Five of Cups. This is what I was seeing in the water, the Five of Cups. That would suggest that she's not going to win, but I don't know. I feel kind of reinvigorated. Like this might be closer than we think. Again, I think it's going to depend on turnout. I think if turnout is low, she's got a good shot. If turnout's really high, I don't think she has a shot. It's kind of like that, but there's a lot of apathy right now, like amongst the Felon's supporters, so they might not show up. So let's look at this again, this particular one again, uh, right before, and I'll give you my final prediction. But if I had to predict now, I would say she does not win, but it's close. And before, I didn't think it was going to be close. So that's progress in the right direction. Okay. Florida's 6th congressional district is between the Republican Randy Fine and the Democrat Joshua Vale. I have seen ads for Joshua Vale floating around social media. I have not seen ads for Gay Valmont. Joshua Vale looks the part. It's kind of odd, but a lot of times elections are decided by the way people perceive the candidates, not by actually how they are, which is a sad state of affairs. So, what can you tell us? Will Joshua Vale? I hope I'm saying his last name right. It's Wiel or Weil. Vale. I would say it's Vale, but the Democrat win in Florida's 6th. So this was Walls's seat, who went into national intelligence, I think, right? Just see if I can pull some images. The moon's almost full and we have the lunar eclipse, and sometimes I get sensory overload at these times. There's a lot of concern about food security in this district. I don't know much about it, and I don't know if it's actually the concerns of the people there or the concerns that they have for others. I'm seeing, I wonder if there's been any like shortages in the grocery store. I'm seeing empty shelves. Again, if you live in the 6th district or you know where that's at, comment, let me know. There have been shortages, like particularly amongst eggs. I know eggs are very expensive, but are they, can you not find them maybe? Democrat. Seeing the Page of Cups, which is like bombshells and surprises. I'm leaning towards he might. Let's see what the cards say. We get the Chariot card. He's definitely the momentum is on his side because the momentum is away from the felon, and that is a yes card. People, the challenge is the Five of Pentacles, is conveying that he actually will be better for the economy. People are concerned about the economy. The challenge for the Democrat is, can he portray himself as somebody who can help fix the economy? I don't like this card. We get the devil card. This is mis and disinformation. There might start to be a social media campaign against him that's just based on untrue things. In the past, we get the Ace of Cups, a new beginning. In the past, this was, I think this is just referring to the Republicans being in charge. It's an uphill climb. He's got lots of burdens to bear if he's going to win. He's got to campaign correctly. The near future, we get the Nine of Wands, guardrails going up, or at least people thinking about guardrails and thinking of him as a guardrail against the felon. People want stability, the Four of Pentacles. They want economic security. We have some message coming forward of an emotional nature. The Knight of Cups. I feel like he might connect with people on an emotional level in a way people like the political pundits aren't seeing. The hopes and fears is the Hermit card. Like a light, the hope is that the light is being shed on the destruction that the Republicans are trying to do. And the fear is that the Democrats won't win. Temperance is the outcome. That's a yes card. Moderation. Get the Five of Swords, being wounded in battle. This can't refer to him because he's not expected to win. He might be the one that's holding the swords, and the Republican might be the one wounded back here. And we get the Queen of Wands, passion. Get the Four of Cups underneath, like a gift from God is the way I'm going to interpret that. This is the way I see it. Or spirit, or whatever you want to call the deity. He just, he's got a shot. If you're in that district, be sure to vote, and tell your friends to vote. And if you're in a position to support that campaign, it might be worth throwing some money that way. Yeah, it's going to be close. I'm not 100% confident either way. So Florida's first congressional district, I lean towards the Republican winning. Uh, the sixth, I think, is like literally a toss-up, maybe slightly lean towards the Democrat, which would be a huge surprise. So we'll have to look at it again as we get closer. These things can be really hard to predict when there's still time because things can happen. Although I'm sure voting's probably already started, would be my guess. I haven't really looked into it. Okay. Whether voting started, that is. Okay, the Wisconsin Supreme Court case is between Susan Crawford and Brad Schimmel. Susan would be the Democrats' choice. Brad would be the Republican choice. It's actually nonpartisan, but there's nothing nonpartisan in the US anymore. So will Susan Crawford win? Yeah, seeing images that would suggest reproductive rights are a major issue here, whether spoken about or not. Also, concerns about fair elections. So, the Supreme Court in Wisconsin had kind of ungerrymandered some of the state districts, like the state house, the state senate. There's some concerns that if the Republican guy wins, that they would re-gerrymander those back. I'm getting an image of the Ace of Pentacles, which would suggest she does. See what the cards say. Yeah, thinking about the next generation, intergenerational relationships, the Six of Cups. Her challenge is MAGA still got that passion? You know, the felon won Wisconsin by like 20,000 votes, something along those lines. Things are moving quickly. The message is in the past. It's like this election's already been decided. Like it's just a matter of people going out and filling out their ballots. Yeah, circles of support celebration. She's gonna win. Yeah. Near term outcome, the Sun card. Choices. The felon being wounded, her being the victor. Yeah, victory, the Six of Wands. Sorry, I'm going through these cards really fast. The Hermit card, that's a yes card too. Little bit of concern that they might try some trickery and thievery, but the Nine of Pentacles, I think she's going to win. I don't think it'll be particularly close as far as Wisconsin's concerned, which means she might win by like, say, 5, 6, maybe 8 percentage points, maybe more. Um, but yeah, no, I feel pretty good about that one. We'll check in again closer to the election, but I feel pretty good about the Democratic aligned candidate, technically not a Democrat, winning there. Okay. Uh, the felon is losing support on the economy. This is the first time where a poll has a majority of people saying they don't think he's good for the economy. I personally have never seen why anybody thought he was, but that's maybe my own bias and the fact that um, you know, a lot of people view tax policy by how much taxes they pay. Some people view tax policy by whether kids are being fed in schools. That's just the way the world works. So I guess the question really uh, is the felon going to continue to hemorrhage support? Voters don't like when people are indecisive. So this tariffs on, tariffs off, tariffs on, mark it up, mark it down. People don't like that. People don't like egg prices being unpredictable. I mean, it's one thing for them to be $7. It's another thing to not know whether they're going to be $9 next week. I'm curious how much eggs cost where you're at. You can leave a comment on that. Here they're in the grocery store for like the City Market, the Kroger, the Albertsons type grocery stores. They're about 7.89 for a dozen. If you go to a convenience store like a Dollar General, which are popular here, they're like $9. Will the felon continue to lose support? Yeah, I think so. I think this is ultimately what causes the downfall for him is that the one thing kind of keeping him going is that people like him. Well, let's be honest, we don't like him, but there are people in the country that do. And when those people start to turn, I think the stress really gets to him. Yeah, he's really burdened. The ants no longer want to march one by one. People are no longer wanting to march in lockstep with the choice that they maybe made in November. People are willing to break away from even what they were doing in the past. Yeah, the challenge is the Hierophant. So this could be the church, could be the government, could be the courts, it could be higher education. In this case, I think his challenge is he's no longer seen as running the show. Like that Oval Office incident, although not related to the economy with Zelensky, made people think that he's no longer running the show. And the uninformed amongst us, that was enough to kind of slip the support in the polls and at the ballot boxes as well. There are a lot of people that just make decisions that aren't as informed as us. I think we forget that. You get the Four of Pentacles stability. People are worried about the economic stability. They don't think he provides it anymore. In the past, we get a message about money, but it's in the past. And, you know, it's like something's being revealed. It's like this vantage point that he's good for the economy. That's in the past. It's no longer. We get the Five of Cups loss. The statue really is torn down. Some people are still seeing the statue intact, but the truth is it's torn down, which would indicate loss. Near-term outcome choices, realizing that he can't play the game. He's not able to play the chess game. He's getting outplayed. People are realizing that. And we get death. It's the end. It's the end of either physically, it's the end of him, or support wise, it's the end of him. His political power has waned to the point that he's going to be a liability, not an asset in the Republican Party. Yeah, we get the Nine of Wands. People want guardrails. They don't want this chaos. They want to know what the rules are and how to follow them. It sounds odd, but it's kind of like if you're, have a job in the corporate world, you want to know what the rules are. You want to know what you need to do to keep your job. You want to know what you need to do. And now that's all thrown away. Nobody knows what they need to do to keep their jobs. They feel very insecure. So the guardrails are gone and people want them back. The hopes and fears is the Fool. The hope is that we get a new start. The fear is that he's just a flat out fool. I mean, there are a lot of people that are just looking at him like a clown show, right? That's the way people are seeing it. And, this imagery really suggests that that actually is the leader of the country, right? Behind a podium speaking. But then what we actually see is the fool. It's a great card. It's a great deck. I love that you guys suggested it. Um, yeah, we get strength, but it's an illusion, right? Really, they're the hospital bed. You can take this a couple different ways. You're either in the hospital bed and you have internal strength to get out, or you think you're strong, but you're really in a hospital bed. In this case, I think we know which way it goes. And Elon Musk is not helping the magician. I love that the magician is depicted here as somebody in space, which kind of goes along with my interpretation that the magician is the Elon Musk card. Yeah, and then we get the Empress concerns about Russia. Like that really ruined everything for him. He just didn't he's not very smart. A lot of people think he is, and I've never understood that either. This is the first person that's leading this country that I am confident I'm smarter than. And maybe that sounds arrogant, but I'm sure you guys feel the same way. It's like the guy's kind of an idiot. And in this case, he's Russia's idiot. So anyhow, that's we get the Six of Swords moving away from troubled water underneath. So uh, yeah, people are moving away from the Felon. That's going to continue. That's what my intuition says. I could be right, I could be wrong. Okay, the question on American democracy. Um, some people were concerned, there's not going to be any new elections. Social Security is going away. All of these things. I've never seen that. Um, I would maybe, but I've never seen it. So will will democracy survive in the United States? Let's just ask that. Will democracy survive? Democracy survive. Democracy survive. Democracy survive in the United States. Yeah, I see the Ace of Pentacles and the Strength card. Don't get me wrong, it's not going to be a good 4 years. I'm not saying that. But there will be another election. Yeah, the Four of Wands. Democracy's stable here. It might not feel like it. So this is the Wizard's Tarot. It's just a fun little deck. So the Four of Wands is about stability. The challenge is keeping away the dark forces with the High Priestess. Things that we can't see, cyber attacks, for example, really hindering the voting process. But most of that stuff is so decentralized, it'd be really hard to do. We get the Ten of Wands. It's burdened, right? We feel heavy burdens, but that's why it's going to survive, is because we all feel the burden of the possibility that it might not. We might very well be the first people in, 50, 60 years that have thought that democracy might not make it, right? I didn't live through the 60s, but it seemed like there's a lot of chaos there with political assassinations and stuff. Yeah, circles of support and celebration. They're in the past, but they're also in the future too. We get the Three of Swords, feeling heartbroken, but not defeated. Like democracy's taken a blow for sure. For sure, there are damages that are going to take generations to repair. But that doesn't mean we're not going to have elections. Yeah, the near-term future, we get the devil. So we've got to work our way through this mis and disinformation phase. We have to find a way to make elections not so easily influenced by social media and not so easily influenced by people with money. That's the problem. We get the Seven of Wands, defending oneself. People are going to be defending democracy, even people that you might not suspect. And here's the Ace of Pentacles. I was seeing it. We're going to get a new beginning. The hopes and fears is the Hermit card. This again, it's both a hope and a fear. The hope is that the light gets shed on the problem. The fear is that the United States is left alone and isolated. And it might be. That's a different question. The outcome, this is a yes card. We get the Queen of Wands, passion. People are very passionate about making sure the country's working. Nine of Pentacles, having everything that we need to prosper. And Judgment. These are all yes cards. The people will see the threat and they will rise. With the King of Swords underneath, logic will prevail at the end of the day. All right. Thank you for watching. I'll be back with another video soon. Thank you.